Welcome to this Saturday night soul session live with LC. Man, we're going to get it going. I'm telling you, this laptop does what it wants. This internet over here is shaky. So, man, I appreciate y'all for showing up and hanging with me. If you hang out and you hang in, we're going to talk about some amazing stuff tonight. I really want to talk about creating a life you love. That's my biggest theme at this space in my life and has been for a couple years now, and really has just started seeing momentum like last year and then coming into this year. Because you know what, it doesn't really matter what your coping mechanism is. That's why this isn't just a addiction recovery podcast. This is a healing podcast, because in any space we are looking to have better lives. And it's not enough just to put down your coping mechanisms or, you know, uh, do whatever if you're not going to create a life that you actually love living. For us in the addiction recovery world, I knew coming into this recovery journey 10 years ago that I was going to have massive change, because I wasn't going to be enough for me to put down the only coping mechanism that I really knew and understood if I was just going to keep living a miserable life. You know, there's three stages of this whole recovery journey. And that's why I always talk about, the get up from your give up and creating a life you love. Now, we come into recovery, we're getting up. We realize there in the middle that, we got to come out of our give up, man, and we got to change our lives in order for this to work. And then we get to this place where we are called so graciously to be right now, all of us. We're called to be in a place of creating a life that we love. Because when you create a life you love, it moves out from you so much farther than you could even possibly imagine. We're all looking for our purpose, and we think that purpose is something that we do. But in reality, your soul is much more in touch and in tune, with your divinity. Then it goes much deeper than that. For most of us, for all of us, I'd even say, our purpose here is healing. And then what we feel may be called or destined to do with that is a whole nother story. But what we're called to do is heal and create a life that we love, and let that go out into the world so that other people can grab a hold of that too, and put down the fear, and put down the intense focus of living in a constant state of survival. And we can't blame each other for that. I mean, that's where we are. Our entire, like whole systems that are coming in are really honing in on survival, survival, survival. I listen to YouTube like all day long. I'm constantly like listening to something, whether it be, and I know this sounds real foo-foo, but it works for me. And so I'm always listening to some kind of affirmation, or I'm always listening to one of my friends' podcasts, or I'm always listening to, something that can expand my consciousness. I listen to a lot of Brendan Watt. Shout out to that guy for featuring Recovery Soul Food in his newsletter. Man, that guy's a gift in my world for so many reasons, just helping me to open my consciousness. But I'm constantly listening to stuff on YouTube, right? And it's all growth-based stuff. And then the ads come in. And when the ad comes in, it's about get your 20-year food supply for the end of the world, and get this awesome military grade flashlight weapon for when the zombies come. And if you're not, and let's go to the self-help. If you want to make more money now, click on this ad. I'll show you how to do it in 30 days. We're constantly being bombarded with this survival, survival, grow, grow, grow. But a lot of that tends to be on the surface of growth. And creating a life you love really comes from the inside out. And really coming to understand who you are as a divine being on the face of the earth. You're not everything that you have come to believe that you are. You're so much bigger than that. And if you are on an addiction recovery journey, if you're on like a healing journey, healing generations of different ways that our family went about things in toxic and hurtful ways, if you're a part of that community, you're called to be here even stronger. And so let's forget about regretting what we've done and where we've been and all the lies we tell ourselves, and let's start to truly connect and realize who we are as divine beings and what our true purpose is here. And you have one. You're in this space. So regardless of where you are in that journey, I hope that us talking about that, I mean, that's why I do this podcast. I want to tell you right now, I live to do this. I can't wait for Saturday nights because my world has gotten so hectic that the one thing that I feel so aligned with doing, that I could do this for free for the rest of my life, is sharing about healing in a raw and true way with those who are in a space to receive it. And I don't even care if it's one of you or 1,000 of you. It doesn't matter. I make the intention and ask that it go to the people that are in the space to receive it right now, and may it touch lives outside of them as well. Because the more we do this, the more we take our focus off of the fear in our life. The more we take our focus off of the constant beratement of problems. Because it's hard not to look at these things because we are instinctually surviving. We're a survival species. We just kick in when things happen. And it really comes down to what we are, what belief system we have about whatever it is we're perceiving. This sounds funny to say. I don't know why I was going to say it, but I'm like an earth sign. So I am very, very tuned in to my money and my financial situation because I need to know that things are paid. Doesn't mean I got a lot of money, but it means that these are the things that can quickly draw me into fear and survival. And that's why I like to say here all the time, study yourself. Like, study yourself. Like, stop the regret, remove the guilt, erase all of that stuff, because it is what it is. It's done. It's what it is. It's done. So now take what you've experienced and turn it into wisdom in your life. Because I what conscious awareness means to me is that I start to become more in tuned with my inner self and more in tuned with things that I naturally align with. And I'm also highly in tune to when I start to get into these situations. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm able to like turn it around always as soon as I catch it. Sometimes we've got these dopamine and serotonin centers that are connected to our thoughts and memories. That's why you get so emotional when you have these memories and stuff. And so it almost becomes like a high to get into those negative spaces, especially that old, whatever it is for you, whatever your constant thing that can flip you into survival. I mean, just like that, whatever that is for you, then, that almost becomes a high. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong to let yourself go down in there. I'm saying it's natural. I'm saying it's natural. It's just like when we talk about a recovery space, like from addiction, it's like, I know that I'll never use opiates again. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'll never use heroin again, but it doesn't mean that I'm ever going to forget the feeling and that it's an option. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that we're talking about. When we start to change our mindset, we start to create different focus on different things, then it's always going to be that old way of doing things, that old way of survival up until now. That old way is always going to be there. It's just as we become more consciously aware of ourselves and begin to study ourselves, we can start to catch ourselves before we go all the way down into that dark burrow. And sometimes we can and sometimes we can't. The lie becomes when we judge something healed. The lie becomes that happiness is permanent. The lie becomes that enlightenment is all joy and rainbows. And so the lie will come to tell you that that's what it's supposed to be. And if you decide that before going in, you're going to be like greatly disappointed. So we have to go into all of this with no judgment. We really have to work on the judgment of ourselves and what we what we kind of regret versus what we can look at in a conscious way and start to use to create strategies for ourselves to help us move into this healing process. And it doesn't matter where you are in that journey. If you're hearing this at all, then you're here. You know what I mean? Like, you're here, you're involved in it. There are no stages really to healing. It's another one of the lies. And it can be very disappointed to think that you're going to get to check off a box. Okay, I got this step and this step and this step and this step. It doesn't really work like that. And maybe this message is redundant to y'all because I keep going back to what is your focus? Like, what in your life are you focused on so intently that everything else kind of shuts down around you? What are you, I guess what I can say is, what are you negatively focused on in your life? Because our focus is going to create what we experience. It's like I wear these glasses because I can't see far off. But in order to read something, I have to take these glasses off. So it just seems like the focus is so big sometimes on our negative circumstances that all we can see through those lenses are more negative things. And I know it's so cliche and it seems so overused, but gratitude is the only antidote to that. And it truly is. I wish I had another answer. I really do, because it sounds so cliche. Everybody's so sick of probably hearing about gratitude list, gratitude list, gratitude list. But it truly is the kryptonite to that negative heavy focus. Heavy focus. Let me just say some hays. What's up? My sister Pamela topped you in. Oh, I don't even have the book. I'm away from my house, but y'all know how to get Pam's book. I love Pam's book. I love Pam, and that's another good thing. That's another thing about this. As you go through your stages of healing and your journey, sometimes it's really hard to see how far you've come. You know what I mean? Especially because we're always in it. We're always in it. And sometimes it can be hard to stop and look around. And you need a piece of contrast to really see how far you've come. Then I say to you, look at the people that are closest to you, because they're going to reflect back to you. Like, who are your friends? Let's don't even say your family. Who are your friends? Do you have the kind of friends that you want to be? Do you have the kind of friends that align with where you are? Because it's not about faking it till you make it, So I don't want you to get to a friend group and just start faking like it till you feel like you belong. That's against the real healing process. What you want to do is look at people who have what it is that you're looking for. And I don't mean materially, I mean like spiritually. Whose light shines brightest? Who's super funny and you can just tell that's their gift? Who's light? Who feels heavy in your world? But when you start kind of putting an intention like, yeah, man, I want that. I want that. Then you naturally start moving towards those friend groups and you can learn so much in there. And some of those people are meant to like stay in your journey throughout. And some of them just came to give you something. And it's the judgment of whether that's negative or positive, honestly, that decides what you take away from it. But look around you and see how far you've come by your friend group. And if you look at your friend group and you feel like, damn, man, we ain't come hardly nowhere. And I'm 3 years in. Get a new friend group. Get a new friend group. They don't got to be bad for you to remove yourself and put yourself in a better situation, because you got to decide, man, life is moving fast. Life is moving fast right now, and it's only going to feel faster. So we do got to figure out how we're going to live, for the greatest experience of our life today. And listen, I got to remind myself this stuff too, like I'm not talking to you from a place of, I got it. Because that would be ridiculous. I'm talking to you from a place where I'm walking in this with you. And I'm just blessed to be able to come here and share it in this way with y'all like this, because a lot of times when I'm talking to you, it's working out for me too. So this is an energetic share right now. All of us just sharing space and love, and everybody that'll watch this after. Like all your energy goes into this and it moves outward. I just want to talk about it in a true and real way. I want to let you know some things that have really helped me, and really helped me shift. Because when I look back, I was standing out here before, and I know it sounds so up in the clouds, but I don't care, man. I love it. I'm creating a life I love. So I was standing out here before this all started, and I was listening to some Reiki music, and I was just standing out in nature. And I'm looking around, and the colors, man, are so bright. And I start looking around at all these plants, man, and I'm like, man, wow. Like I have the space in my world to stop and notice this. When for so long in my life, I lived like none of this mattered. I couldn't even see the beauty of creation, let alone see myself in it. You don't gotta feel love necessarily to see love. And when we talk about divine love, we look at everything that's created. And the fact that I can be grateful for my life now, it's already gone farther than I can imagine. Because I used to wake up upset because I didn't know how to do this life with the challenges that were upon me. I didn't know how to take those things and turn them into wisdom, and turn them into healing, and start to see where they all like trace back from, and know that when I'm healing them generations back and generations forward. And to know, like to have that why within me, like this is big because I love my family so much. And I fought so hard to get back to be with them. Because as you know, if you've come from that space, if people don't like you no more, and people push you away. And so I spent years working my butt off to make sure that they could welcome me back into their lives without clutching their purses. Because that's not a real welcome. And when people see you change, it starts to heal them. Because no matter what we think when we're out there in the field so much, is we think we're only hurting ourselves. And now we come out of the frame and can see the picture is that we were hurting everybody around us. Not because we wanted to, but because we aggressively had this need. We found a coping mechanism. I don't gotta feel no more. Like I can feel some kind of artificial happiness, and I don't know what happiness feels like. And so I'll do whatever I gotta do to stop all of this like bleeding. Because man, I was just bleeding emotions. Only thing I could see for the most part, for the earliest part of my life, is just darkness. Just didn't want to be here. Just feeling like God's little joke. Just waking up in that world and experiencing it like that every day. And who would have known that one of the biggest upsets in my life would have ended up being, even the way it started, would have ended up being the catalyst that walked me to this place of healing. So, regardless of where you've been, it doesn't have to define who you are and where you're going. And I'm living proof of that. And I know everybody says that, and I know it's hard to imagine being in that person's shoes, but if you know me, you know some stuff about me that lets you know that this journey ain't been easy. And it's still not. It's still not. If we set ourselves up to believe that we're going to attain some type of happiness and it's just going to stay in what we understand right now as happiness all the time, we are setting ourselves up to be greatly disappointed. But if we start to learn how to stop judging everything that comes to us, whether we judge it right, wrong, good, or bad, even standing on the right causes is taking energy from you in a way that is not allowing it to create goodness and positivity and healing in your life. And so, mm, just I mean, like, it really is. If you think about it, it's the judgment of these situations. When you think about something in your life, look back at it and ask yourself, the suffering only comes when I judge something to be this or that versus just seeing it as it is. And then asking myself, okay, what do I do from this? What can I learn from this? And don't get me wrong, man. There's people are going through some shit, and I ain't trying to make this sound easy. It's about just realizing you have a conscious choice in how your life is lived and how you're going to focus on your life. And I want to ask y'all something, and I've never done this before, and I don't know why I want to really do it now. Like, I've wanted to do some other classes with y'all before, or see if anybody wanted to sign up with like do some mentorship or whatever. Um, but it's never really like been able to come to fruition. I guess it just wasn't aligned and it wasn't time. But this really feels like it's time. We teach a lot about not using cognitive behavior, switching your thinking, and all of that. But one thing we don't talk a lot about in the recovery space is our money, our finances. And I am wanting to know if there's about 10 of y'all that want to go through maybe an hour session with me on a Zoom call, and let's talk about how to create a different relationship with money, and really get into some things. So I'm studying a lot about consumer law right now, and credit, and it's just come across my path. It's only something I'm doing because I'm trying to repair that for myself, because I didn't care about crap like that. I thought I was going to die in addiction. So if you can imagine, I've got the credit score of like a 7-year-old maybe. So I've been studying a lot of this, so that, and I just think it's so useful for those in the recovery space. And I guess anybody everybody should change. We've got to change our relationship with money, and then we don't worry and fear about not having it, or when things start getting low. And so, if that's something that you would be interested in, I'm looking for like 10 people. I'm just looking for 10 to start off, or at least 5, I'd say. And put it in like, put it in the chat, put it in somewhere, put it in the comments, wherever you are. I'll try to get to them all. But if you could go to the Recovery Soul Food YouTube page and go into that chat and write it there, I usually see stuff like that. And so we'll schedule it, and we'll do it and just see how it works, because I'm going to tell you, I love what we talk about in the recovery space. I really, really do. But if I'm going to talk to you about creating a life that you love, then I got to share with you the ways that I'm creating a life that I love. And one of those things that we all use, that we all need to have, is money. And really, money's not the problem. To be honest, it's us. It's our relationship with money, because every time money goes out and we're in fear, like, oh my God, I can't believe how expensive this is. We're energizing that money with like this feeling of lack and fear. And so it just keeps circling through. And so, there's some little tips and things that you can do to start to change even that process. And once you start doing that, it does really allow, it frees up so much space in your life. Like energetically, I could not really believe how much like space it opened up. I didn't realize how much energy and focus I was giving on making sure my bills are paid, and just having enough, and being so afraid to watch, like prices change and all that stuff. And it's easy to get caught up in that, and then you're off to the races. But there are ways that you can change that and begin to bring money back to you. And and just me putting those things in practice. And I've really been working on this for about a year, y'all. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, it ain't been no 30 days. This ain't no 30-day program. um, but I really am starting to see it. And I also had to step out on a huge limb over a waterfall to really get this lesson. So a lot of the hard things that you might be struggling through right now, realize there is a very significant breakthrough lesson within these big shakeups. So know that better is coming. Better is coming. But we always we got to make sure that we are ready to go to that next level in our healing space, and whatever that is. But if you start putting some things into practice, man, and you really start lightening up your focus and lightening up your energy, and really opening yourself up to experience life, because you got to look at children. And we all started out that way. We all started out like this. They are experiencing life, especially babies. So cool to watch how they're experiencing life. And then somewhere along the way, it switches to controlling life, starting to control life, because that's that adult world. We got to control this and control this, because if all the pieces don't fit, then life falls apart and I'm to my limit. And so when we start lightening up, like some of this load, some of this energy, like turning these things around into experiencing life versus trying to control all the pieces, because the pieces never fit like they're supposed to, and something always comes up, and then all of a sudden you're in anxiety, and all of a sudden you're barking at everybody, and all of a sudden you're messing things up, or you're spilling paint. Like I feel my level coming. And I know I need to get my butt down off that ladder about 5 minutes before something bad's going to happen. And sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. I push it, and something always happens. It's like getting your attention. Like, snap out of it. And if we take some time, like there's this new app that my therapist actually suggested to me, and I love it. I'm going to write to them, and hopefully they'll they'll help us out with the show, and give us a link or something for y'all to sign up for, because I found it to be really, really helpful. And it is called Check-In. I think it's called Check-In. No, that's Check-In. What is it called? How am I feeling? And it's a great little free app that you can set yourself reminders and check in on your feelings out throughout the day. And I know the men are rolling their eyes, but come on, guys, this ain't gender specific. This is creating a life you love. Looked at my analytics just this morning, and it was 100% women. I'm like, where my men at? This is for you too, man. This ain't gender specific. But it's called How Am I Feeling? I think that's what it's called. Of course, it doesn't show me on the app, and I don't want to put too much time on it. But it is a great little way for you to start checking in on yourself. Like figure out where you are. Take a step back and gauge where that is and see what you can do about something. See what you can't. Do your best and relax on yourself. And I'm in this lesson. So I'm eyeball deep in this lesson right now too. That's why I'm sharing it with you because it's a lot. It's a lot. You want to do something. For me, like I want to do something. I want to do it, to the best that it can be done. And when that can't happen, how we feel. Thank you, Pamela, always showing up with all the good stuff. Thank you. What was I even saying? I don't remember. It'll come back to me. I hope. We'll see. Let me say some hellos real quick. Mary, thank you. I love you, Mary. I'm for all my friends that feel probably neglected at this point in my life. I love you guys so much. I truly do. This has been one of the wildest summers of my existence, I believe. Just in healing while in the situation, starting a new business, being on the island. The island's just different, and it's most folks that have been here for a while know that my job is real seasonal. So I work on a kind of a resort island, and it's been massive, and I'm seeing the shifts and changes in the world, and it's amazing. It's certainly an experience to witness, but I have been just stumbling and fumbling along all summer, going through different deep dives of healing with my family and all of this stuff, and learning how to be a business owner and learning how to operate productively and in my own learning my own style basically. And so I just want to tell all of you, I love you so much. And I know, and you know who you are always. And I have just been, it's been a lot this year. And I have struggled to hold on to as much energy as I have because when we're in the depths of healing, when the shit's hitting the fan, it's almost like being spiritually dehydrated is almost how I would describe it. And it's almost like you just kind of forget. You just forget sometimes. You get so caught up. And this is what happens when we focus on something that's very toxic within us for longer than we know we should. I guess if that's a way to say it. Like for me, because I know when I'm going down it, and sometimes if I'm not on top of it, to try to really re-talk to myself about it. Like I don't try to positive the shit out of it. That's not what I do. I start trying to look within it, um, and to try to ask myself different questions. Is there a different way to see this? Is there, you know, eh, just just things to try to unlock it and unfold it? Because I believe in every shitstorm there is an amazing rainbow, and so it's been hard, and I've neglected my friends this year, and it hasn't been, on purpose. I know the folks that love me, and I trust they know my love for them as well. And so, summer's starting to come to an end. I'm starting to feel myself break through in a lot of these things that I'm sharing about, and so the sun rays are starting to break through again. I'm I'm growing in ways that are monumental to me in so many areas all at once. And so it's just been a lot. So for my friends, I love you, and I apologize that I've been neglectful, but at the same time, it's all going to be good. And I know you guys love me and hold me down, and I do the same for y'all. And thank y'all for all your support. This is an amazing thing to be able to do. I mean, it never ever ceases to amaze me that people show up and that anything that I have to say makes sense to them and actually can help them make some amazing and beautiful and soulful changes in their life, or discoveries, if you will. Not even changes, but discoveries. Because I think that we've got to fall back in love with the excitement of life. We've got to fall back in love with really getting back to the essence of life and you and who you are in connection to the source of everything that we see. And we've got to take our focus off of standing on sides of things due to this very chaotic belief systems that we have, and we're better served when we're healing ourselves from the inside out. As tempting as it can be to feel in different ways, and I'm not saying not to have values or stand up for what you believe in, but it's the belief that I'm asking you to examine. A big access consciousness question is, who does this belong to? Are you sure you hate those folks? Are you sure they're wrong? Are you sure science is right? I mean, I don't know, whatever it is. But it's the belief system that I urge you to question and come to terms with, because there is something so magnificent about each and every one of us. Every one of us. And when we want everything to be the same, we are stopping ourselves from experiencing all that life has to offer. And it's exciting in this time that is filled with great fear and so many people that don't even realize that they've come out of this quarantine survival mode, and they're carrying that over into their lives, and they're looking, because we need connection so bad. Like, that's part of our human DNA, that we need connection. That people got so crazy about being isolated that they come out still in this survival mode, and they're looking for a connection to make. And so when this group believes this, and this believes this, and this believes that, we are going to be drawn to something that we resonate with, whatever it is. And we're going to connect with those people. And then we're all taking on each other's beliefs, and to the point that this is running our lives. And things are happening in our families and our health, and we're having accidents, and all of these big catastrophes are happening when our energy is best served finding that divinity within. And if it exists in you, it exists in everyone else around you as well. And we remember what we already talked about here is it's our judgment of something that creates the emotion, the reaction. And what if this whole group of something really meant nothing in a large scheme of life? This is really not that significant. Then that energy is better served somewhere else, because we're placing it on things that, do they really have anything to do with us in a real way, in a real life or death situation? Does it have anything to do with us right now? And how can my energy be best served healing myself, my family, my generational line, my ancestrage, my life, creating a business, creating a life, whatever that is. Our energy is best served there. That's creating a life we love. Because perfection is a lie. And it's going to be ever evolving, because we're always asking for new. That's our human nature. We're always asking for more. Doesn't make us bad. Doesn't even make us good. Just makes us human. We're always asking for more. And so, in order for more to come, you only have so much space within. You don't have an infinite amount of space to pack all of that stuff in. So when things are starting to come up in your life, and they're asking you to see them, and they want to be seen, and they want to be dealt with, and they want to be healed, they at least want a seat at the table. When these things start coming up, they're making room for this new that you've asked for. And so ask for things that mean something to you. Don't ask for the material things. Ask for things that's going to mean something to you. If you need a place to live, ask for the security and be grateful for the security and the foundation of the home, that we're in, or the home that I'm looking for. Like, find that emotional connection. What does it represent to you? Because the thing's not going to change everything. The thing will be like the awesome ending to the whole thing. So start asking deeper things. Ask for things that mean something to you, and then move out of the way. Take action when it's presented in front of you. Like, I can't tell you how the things I've been asking for, people have just come into my life. Like, I'm not out looking for them. I'm not out, nothing. It's like they come to me, and I realize in that moment, most times, but not all the time, I realize in that moment, oh, this is significant. Like, I feel this is an opportunity to walk through. I feel like this is someone to meet, or I feel like this is someone to know. Maybe I don't know why. I don't know what's going to go with that, but it all lines up. Pay attention. Windows to the places that you're wanting to be, the human that you are becoming, the windows are opening all around you. But if you don't have the availability to see it, you're going to miss it. So remember, in all things, you have a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice what you consume more of. Do you consume more fear? Do you consume, more toxic teachings? Because a lot of that motivational teaching can be really just surface level. And yes, it has its place in this journey. But if you're already past that and you're still trying to use that, if you're in a place where you're feeling frustrated and upset with yourself that you're doing these things and it's not doing what you want, it just means that it's time to grow into something else. You've outgrown that, and that it can become very toxic if you try to hang on to it. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. I don't know. I think that's it. I don't even know what I was talking about. I mean, I'm just so passionate about all of this. You are what you eat. You are what you consume. Make the choice. You always have one. You're more powerful than you can even imagine. And not power in the constructs of which we see it. Powerful in that you are a creator. You're not here to be consumed or consume. You're here to create. And I just love to see this part. I love to see people create. I love to create. Let's create. Love it, love it, love it. What's up, Mary? I love Mary. Mary always makes me laugh. I love you. What's up, Pam? Let me go back up in the comments if this bitty bitty mouse will act right. Let me see. I think I saw my friend Joe. Joe does some good it does some good deadpan comedy over on TikTok and Instagram. He'll have to put that link in there. It's funny. I love seeing people create and do stuff, and it's super funny, and it brings a smile. So he'll have to put that in the chat. What's up, Joe? Tell the wife I say hello. What's up, Priscilla? Thank you for sharing this out in Ohio. I have no idea where my mouse is right now. Oh, y'all, this laptop deal is a trip. It really is. It's hard. What's up, Chip Dip? Hey, I hope Chip Dip's still here. What's up, buddy? Been sending you lots of love and energy too. What's up, Sarah Jane? My friend from down under. Brandy. What's up, Brandy? So I haven't been on social media very much, so I haven't been scrolling and spying on you guys um, as much as I used to, just to watch, because it's amazing to watch you guys grow and watch so many of you put this, a lot of this stuff into practice, and just everything that you're doing. It's been neat, been watching you guys for a long time, and so it makes me happy to see a lot of stuff. I've been seeing a lot of Brandy's posts, so it looks like Brandy's got some stuff going on in her world, and man, I just love it. I love that we're all sharing this space together and that we're in this energy, because this ain't never what I thought recovery was when I was looking in from the streets. I didn't think it was like this. And so I'm super, 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 I don't know, man. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have gotten to spend this time with you guys tonight too. And thank y'all for doing all the stuff, the liking, the sharing, and all that stuff. You know where you can find me at recovery underscore soul food. You guys, if you want to become a monthly supporter, they've got so I never try to pressure anybody to this. And I'm working on that. I'm not working on pressuring y'all or anything, but they've got some great plans. You could to become a monthly supporter of the podcast at www.anchor.fm/recovery soul food. They have like packages that are 99 cents a month at $4.99. I think the highest one is like $9.99 a month. And really it just helps me pay for, the podcast. Just helps me, be able to pay for the different streaming stuff that I use and all the things that I put into the podcast. I would at one time, oh my gosh, it was wild when I was doing Facebooks and really started out on YouTube. I was paying for so many different subscriptions to put all those videos together and everything, and I think it was totaling me close to like $200 a month. And when I took that break in 2021, when I came back, I just it was like I kind of cut it down, and so it doesn't cost that much now by any means, but I'd still put about $100 a month. But even if that never happens, because this is how I feel about it, I I just will do this anyway. You know what I mean? Like I'll do this anyway. It's so worth it to me. This is like what I get to do that brings me joy, and it's I'll do it anyway. I'll do it for free as long as I can, or as long as it feels aligned with me. Who knows what next year is going to bring? I'm not going to box myself in, but I love doing this and I love all of y'all. You guys are amazing and you've been with me, and I thank you for walking this path with me. I thank you for hanging out. If you've hung out this far, you are a flippin' warrior. You hear me? And I know my soul warrior, so I really appreciate that. But for everybody that'll watch this again on a replay, man, I appreciate you too. Brendan Watt, thank you so much once again, man, for featuring Recovery Soul Food podcast in his monthly newsletter. I mean, I love this guy, man. He's introduced me to so much, and Access Consciousness has been such a just a wonderful, great, interesting modality to get involved in, and I'm having a good time, and just learning something new and learning all about that. So him featuring our podcast in his monthly newsletter means the world to me. And so y'all get more of Brendan Watt. BrendanWatt.com. You can go and check him out. The Misfits Guide to Living. He's on YouTube as well. He's an amazing human being, a recovery soul warrior within himself. Him coming on and talking to us a few weeks ago now, he was right in the midst. Like we were the first podcast really that he shared where he was in his recovery journey with. Like that, so special that we can create a space where people can share openly and honestly, because that's when people get healed, man. That's when people get something from this. When they can see themselves in you, that's when people connect. And so he did that for us. That's an amazing show and sign of support. Our YouTube subscribers have gone up. Like that video itself is almost at 170 views, I think, last time I looked, and that's amazing because that was a beautiful conversation. So if y'all haven't seen that one, go back about 3-4 shows maybe on YouTube and check that out. It was really an awesome moment. in my life. So anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you, Pamela, for everything you do in the chat, putting all that stuff up. I don't know what I'd do without you, but I don't want to find out. I love you. Y'all have an amazing night. Have the best week ever. Remember, you always have a choice, and experience life. Just experience life. All right. I love y'all. I'll see you next time. Bye.